Oh, what a lead, dude! What a lead! God damn you, chill, bro! Chill! I mean, the guard jump is just silly thick. Oh? It's 2-shot now. Uh-oh. 07. Oh! Jesus Christ! Gardenia, what do you mean? Kaizo IronMON is an incredibly difficult randomized Pokemon challenge where you have to beat the entire game without your main Pokemon fainting a single time. In doubles, every single battle is a double battle, and if one of your Pokemon faints, the run is over. The only big differences between the two is that the experience curve is different, every trainer has another Pokemon added to the team to allow trainers with a single Pokemon to work properly, you're allowed 2 catches per route, and the move Dark Void is banned. Everything else is the same. I personally found doubles to be more difficult because of the forced catch before the first trainer, and when the first trainer has 2 Heatran with coverage for your team, it can be very anger inducing. Most of my good runs died to crits or just not having enough firepower to get the job done, or of course, not knowing the enemy's ability. 3422. On my winning run, I got a decent Flareon in the briefcase and was battling a Barboach. I selfishly used Belly Drum, maximising my attack stat, and luckily hit both of my Stone Edges after having my accuracy dropped by Kinesis. My attention was drawn to a Shuckle I found who had Mud Shot and a decent amount of special attack. I used Glare to paralyse it and threw a Pokeball. The Shuckle wasn't amazing, but it had the ability Compound Eyes, which raises Shuckle's accuracy by 30%, meaning I had a better chance at learning a move which was useful for it. I used a nifty spreadsheet to calculate its average IVs, and it turned out to be pretty good. It probably wouldn't win in singles, but in doubles it had a better chance as it could support Flareon. I checked the fishing spots and found Arcanine in Twinleaf Town. Arcanine has always had a special place in my heart after the whole sketch debacle. While scouting its moves, it showed me Heat Wave, which has the same type attack bonus. Immediately, I was interested in swapping the Flareon for Arcanine. I encountered a level 15 and started throwing balls. What a monster! Flamethrower and Aqua Tail too? Swallow was useless and banned when used together with Stockpile, but that didn't matter when its special attack was amazing and had fantastic speed too. Using the spreadsheet calculator, I found that it was about average for the IVs, but around 150 base special attack and 110 speed. I named them both and got going. Getting to Rourke was a breeze. He opened with a Sudowoodo and a Vespiquen. There was only one thing to do, press Heat Wave and any damaging move with Zac to try and clean up where Scruffy couldn't get the KO. Zac's level 22 move was Stone Edge. Now honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better move. Stone Edge also has the same type attack bonus with Shuckle, and Compound Eyes made it 100% accurate as long as his accuracy wasn't dropped. The rest of the gym battle went smoothly, 2 Heat Waves taking out 4 Pokemon. Poor Zac had nothing to do. We made our way through Commander Mars and took Cheryl through Eterna Forest, leading us to the next gym leader, Gardenia. She is usually a formidable opponent, but not for this crack team. Gardenia opened up with a Cacturn and a Yanmega, 2 Pokemon my team loved to see. One Heat Wave picked them both up, leaving poor Zac to miss his move. She sent out her ace, a Drizzle Ninetales and a Flash Fire Sandslash. I opted to use Aqua Tail with Scruffy to make use of the damage bonus the rain provided, and Zac doubled into it with Mudshot, successfully taking the Ninetales out. Sandslash used Tailwind, doubling the speed stat of her Pokemon for a few turns. This let the Sandslash outspeed on the next turn, using Cosmic Power, but her Dustox was very slow. Scruffy managed to one-shot it with a single Flamethrower. Zac used Mudshot on the Sandslash, and we managed to see that it was rather tanky, even without a Cosmic Power boost. Gardenia's Porygon Z used a Feint for some reason, and Scruffy used Aqua Tail into the Sandslash, successfully showing how thick this Pokemon really was. Using Stone Edge, Zac managed to chip the Porygon Z for about 60% of its total HP. Sandslash used Double Team, and Scruffy knocked it out with one more Aqua Tail. A Sludge Bomb from Zac and an Aqua Tail from Scruffy picked up the remaining HP of Porygon Z after Gardenia used her Super Potion. The interesting thing about doubles is that the AI can only heal the right hand side, meaning you can slightly abuse how the AI conducts themselves within a battle. Jupiter was defeated and we made our way to Hearthome City. The Berry Master gave us a Tomato Berry, of which I hadn't realised the importance of quite yet. You can only receive berries from NPCs once per run, so this was huge for later on. After a quick visit to Amity Square, we were ready for Fantina's gym. She opened with a Tauros and a Kangaskhan. Scruffy's first heat wave was avoided by the Kangaskhan and chunked Tauros for about 65% of its total HP. Zack's Sludge Bomb failed to pick up the Tauros and it used Psywave on Zack, getting a huge damage roll. Fantina doubled it into Zack with her Kangaskhan using Rage. She then healed her Tauros with a Super Potion and used Bide with the Kang. I was a little nervous because I'd not seen any damage dealt to it. Thankfully, Heat Wave landed a critical hit on it and it also picked up Tauros too, leaving poor Zack to miss his move. Fantina sent out 2 juicy targets for Scruffy to melt and Fantina got the first word in with a bullet punch on Zack. Nothing to worry about though. Heat Wave picked up both targets, once again leaving poor Zack to not land his move. I didn't mind too much though. Fantina's last 2 Pokemon were a Glaceon and a Bastiodon, to which Scruff used a Flamethrower on Glaceon and Zack used a Mudshot on the Bastiodon. They pick up their KOs and won the gym battle. The rival battle standing in between Gym 3 and the mid-game grind was an intense time. His ace Pokemon would be fully evolved by now, and this would be the first time we would see it. Lapras did not make things easy for us. Those are trainer grind? I got go. I got go though. Well, I can't stay. It's a lot of HP. Nice. What do we do here? It's not over. He's only got 4 mons left, and I have 3 turns. I've got to hit Heat Wave at least once. This is what I want to do. This is what my gut is telling me to do. I didn't miss one of them. Oh. Oh boy. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh god, it might be over. Oh. Nice crit! Huge crit! No! I've got 1 turn! I got 1 turn, dude! Wait, just make sure. Just make sure. Flamethrower, Ampy, Stone Edge, Chatter. One. Not bad. Me. Oh my god. I ended the stream there and came back a few days later to continue the run. We made our way around the mid-game loop and considered a strategy with the tomato berry we got from the Berry Master. I'm going to give Scruffy the tomato berry. And I'm going to give him calcium. Okay, let's see if we can fit the zinc in as well. It probably won't go in. Okay, nice. Nice, dude. Maylene was up next, by far the easiest gym leader in all of Sinnoh. We severely outlevel her team and gym trainers. Maylene opened up with her own Kangaskhan and a Vaporeon, to which Scruffy landed a Heat Wave on both, taking the Vaporeon to a slither of its HP remaining and picking up the KO on Kang. Zack cleaned up with a Stone Edge. Maylene sent out a Cacturn and a Charizard. Scruffy pounced onto the Grass type with a Flamethrower and Zack picked up the KO on Charizard with a Stone Edge. Her last two Pokemon, Sunflora and Rotom, looked like a good target for Scruffy to Heat Wave. Unfortunately, Scruff missed the Sunflora, but after a Mudshot and Flamethrower, we won the gym battle. Level 60, Mild Smooth Poppin'. Win them over. Oh, look at him. Oh my god. After a quick stop at the contest hall to get Scruffy a ribbon, we made our way to Crasher Wake's gym. In my opinion, Wake is the third most difficult gym in the region, right behind Candice and Gardenia. And boy, what a fight he put up that day. I hadn't found many large healing items during the mid-game loop and was running on a few lemonades and moo milks. Of course, in Kaizo IronMON, you are not allowed to buy healing items and are reduced to what you get randomized into visible and hidden item checks. Wake opened with a Grumpig and a Milotic. Scruffy used Flamethrower into the Grumpig, which did around 90% of its total HP. Zack then used a Stone Edge into Milotic, which chunked it for about 40% of its HP. The Milotic returned an Iron Head into Zack, but it didn't do as much as I was expecting it to. Wake doubled into Zack with Grumpig's Whirlpool, not an ideal situation to put me into. The Grumpig got healed with a Hyper Potion, and Scruffy went for another Flamethrower into the Purple Pig. Zack got a wee bit more chip damage into the Milotic after another Stone Edge. In hindsight, I probably should have targeted one side instead of this battle starting so sloppy. Milotic landed a scary face on Scruffy, reducing his speed stat by half. Now, this meant that Zack was faster, and I had to keep that in mind for the rest of the battle. Sludge Bomb picked up the Milotic, and Flamethrower cleared the Grumpig off the field. It seemed like Wake had just got back from a fossil expedition in Kanto, because he sent two of them out next. Rock types were an absolute nightmare for Scruffy and Zack to deal with, and I soon learned that I was in a lot of trouble. Zack's Stone Edge took the Omastar down to around 65% of its total HP, and it restored 25% with a Citrus Berry. The Aerodactyl outsped Scruffy as he was at -2 stages on speed, using Stab Rock Wrecker, and I clenched. It did a decent amount, but because Scruffy was stacked on the defense side, it didn't hurt as much as Wake would have liked. Scruffy's own Citrus Berry was consumed, and he outsped Omastar with a Heat Wave into Aerodactyl, missing the Omastar. The Omastar returned with a Mud Bomb into Scruffy, taking him down to 5 HP remaining. The Citrus Berry had saved him. I used a Moo Milk on Scruffy while Aerodactyl was on cooldown after the Rock Wrecker. Zack's Stone Edge did a fine job, but it wasn't enough to pick up the KO. Omastar landed another Mud Bomb on Scruffy, narrowly avoiding any accuracy drops. Another Moo Milk was used on Scruffy. I was doing everything I could to keep him alive. Zack picked up the Aero with another Stone Edge, and the Omastar landed a third Mud Bomb into Scruffy, yet again avoiding the accuracy drop and not critting. I now used a Lemonade on Scruffy as I was worried about another Rock type being sent out, Solrock, while Zack took out the evil Omastar with a Mud Shot. Thankfully, the Solrock used Howl and allowed me to get the Lemonade out for free. Wake's last Pokemon was an Entei, which had low HP, and Zack picked up the KO with a single Stone Edge. Scruffy hesitantly used Aqua Tail on the Solrock and picked it up too. The battle was won, but my healing items had taken a significant hit. I desperately needed to find more before Byron. Wake had learnable Amnesia TM for Scruffy, which I took over Poison Powder. We made our way to Celestic Town where we would meet Cyrus in battle for the first time, granting us the ability to surf. This opened up a ton of item checks, which we scored a new Lemonade and our first big heal, a full restore. Remember me using the Tomato Berry to trade speed EVs for some special attack and special defense? I think that might have saved the run right here. Scruffy, no! Scruffy, no! How did you miss both of them? What do you mean? Crit! Whoa! Good to see ya. No! 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 Oh my God! There goes the juice. I lived on one. This is the first time I've seen it with Drizzle though. Hey, look at this guy, he's weak! Get out of here! Oh my! After that insanely close call with a Drizzled Tangrowth Bubble Beam crit, we made our way through Iron Island and headed into Byron's gym. He opened with a Palkia and a Kabutops. Not the most ideal matchup for Scruffy and Zac. I set up an Amnesia with Scruffy, and Zac used Mud Shot on Kabutops, doing around 50% of its total HP. The Kabutops returned with a Drill Peck into Scruffy, barely scratching him. The Palkia, weirdly the slowest of the four, used a bounce and sprang up into the air. I took the opportunity to double into the Kabutops and take it down as I knew the turn order was going to allow Palkia to move last. The Palkia's bounce landed into Zac, but it didn't do as much as I was expecting, and it didn't paralyze. Scruffy used a Heat Wave and landed on both targets, taking out Rotom and doing about 20% to Palkia. Zac's Mud Shot brought the Palkia down to around 55% of its remaining HP. It used Bounce again, and Byron sent in Fortress. As I knew the Palkia was likely to move last, I used an Energy Powder on Zac to not waste a turn and then Flamethrowed the Fortress. I had guessed wrong and Palkia landed its bounce into Scruffy this time and once again avoided the paralysis. Scruffy landed a Heat Wave into the newly brought in Sunflora and chunked the Palkia again, also achieving a burn. Zac's Stone Edge picked up the KO on the God of Space. Byron was down to his final Pokemon, a Raichu, which Scruffy proceeded to Flamethrower and one-shot it. The 6th Gym Badge had been acquired and barely any healing used. Commander Saturn and Mars were defeated at the respective lakes, and we made our way up to Snowpoint City to meet Candice in battle. She opened with a Drizzle Mismagius and a Ludicolo. The rain really wasn't ideal, as Scruffy relied on his fire attacks for big damage. The Mismagius immediately detects as Scruffy sets up an Amnesia, and Zac failed to hit his Mud Shot into the Ghost. Ludicolo landed a Meteor Mash into Zac, chunking him for about 25% of his total HP. Scruffy hits back with a Heat Wave, doing a surprising amount to the Mismagius and not enough to the Ludicolo. Zac's Mud Shot picked up the KO on Mismagius, and Ludicolo returned with a stab, rain boosted Muddy Water into both of my Pokemon. I clenched up as the HP bars showed me the situation. It wasn't looking good. Honestly, I was surprised Zac lived. I reluctantly used my one and only big heal on Zac to bring him out of range of Ludicolo's next Muddy Water, getting the knockout. Scruffy used Flamethrower on the Pineapple, and Candice showed her next threat, Metal Burst Luminion. The mind games being played by the AI were off the charts. I used another Amnesia with Scruffy to avoid damaging the Luminion, fully expecting her to use Metal Burst again, while Zac took out the Ludicolo. Instead, Candice used Embargo on Scruffy to do as little damage as possible and still gauge how much damage I could realistically do. I used Bullet Punch on Luminion, which turned out to be a very bad idea. Zac crit his move and activated Luminion's Anger Point, raising its attack stat by 6 stages, while Scruffy used Flamethrower on the newly sent in Kricketune. Safe to say, I was extremely nervous. Luminion used Embargo on Zac, meaning I couldn't use items on either of my Pokemon for now. Candice sent in a Mamoswine, which Zac immediately Bullet Punched to chip, while Scruffy used Flamethrower, doing everything in my power not to waste turns and not to touch Luminion, expecting her to Metal Burst. Unfortunately, the Mamoswine took both hits, living on around 5% of its total HP. Mamoswine used Gravity, and Luminion showed us Metal Burst. One more Bullet Punch from Zac took down the Mamoswine, and Scruffy used another Amnesia. Candice had a physical move on the fish, Aerial Ace, which didn't totally obliterate Zac. I considered my options for a long time with chat, reviewed the VOD, and came to the conclusion that I needed the Luminion gone. These were Candice's last 2 Pokemon, and I needed the Noctowl to let me live. I locked in my moves and clenched up again. No, I don't think that dies now. Oh, okay, Noctowl, just chill. Oh, okay, okay, this is fine. This is fine. Oh, let's go! Let's go! We had escaped Candice to tell the tale and move on to the last few sections of the run. As we scoured the newly opened item checks, a max potion was found, my second and last big heal for the entire game. Cyrus was defeated in the Veilstone Galactic Headquarters, and we made our way up to Spear Pillar. Jupiter and Mars were defeated at the summit, Cyrus did his little speech, and the team made their way through the Distortion World to meet Cyrus in battle for the last time. He was a pushover. Volkner was the final gym leader in our way of the Elite Four. He opened with a Pidgeot and a Rotom Frost. Scruffy managed to knock out the bird with a crit heat wave while completely missing the fridge. Zack Stone Edge took out the Rotom in one hit. Volkner then sent in a Golem and Mamoswine. I'd been one-shotting the Golem the whole run with Aqua Tail, so proceeded to do the same to this one. Zack's Mud Shot chunked the Mamoswine for around 30% of its total HP, and it failed to land a glare onto one of my Pokemon. After sending in a juicy grass type for Scruffy to melt, Zack chipped the Mamoswine again with Bullet Punch, and Scruffy cleared the field with a Heat Wave. Volkner's last pathetic attempt to stop Scruffy and Zack was a Mantine, which he for some reason used Helping Hand with. I have no idea what prompted the AI to click this move above all else. As I laughed in his face, Scruffy and Zack demolished it and sent it packing. The last gym badge was ours. We made our way through Victory Road very comfortably and headed into the Pokemon League to battle the rival one last time. He opened with a Mr. Mime and a Gyarados. Scruffy's Heat Wave chunked the Gyarados for 50% of its HP and missed the Mime. Zack Stone Edge picked up the KO on the Gyarados. Mr. Mime landed a decent roll on the Psywave, and Barry sent in his ace, Floatzel. Scruffy used Heat Wave again, doing around 20% of Floatzel's total HP and 99% to Mr. Mime. Zack Stone Edge took the Floatzel to just under 50% of its remaining HP as it locked into rollout. The Mime's Psywave low roll, thank goodness. Scruffy fired off yet another Heat Wave, chipping the Floatzel and picking up the Mr. Mime. Zack Stone Edge picked up the Floatzel KO. Barry's Manectric used Extreme Speed on Scruffy, knocking a small chunk out of his health bar as he used Heat Wave again. It missed the Stantler but easily picked up the Manectric. Zack used Mud Shot and took the Stantler down to around 25% of its total HP. It used Brave Bird into Scruffy, barely making a dent. Barry was down to his last two Pokemon and Scruffy used Heat Wave again. Amazingly, he hit both targets, took the Gliscor to 10% remaining of his HP and picked up the KO on Stantler, allowing Zack to clean up and KO the Gliscor with Stone Edge. We had won. I was very adamant on getting Scruffy to level 97 before entering the Elite Four. The PC trainer battles can only be fought once per run, and the best time to challenge them is just after the Distortion World as they scale in level with game progression. The first PC trainer I took on was arguably the easiest level-wise. They opened with a Heatran and Crawdaunt. Scruffy used Flamethrower on the Crawdaunt, taking it to around 30% remaining of its total HP, and Zack took out the Heatran all by himself with a Mud Shot. The Crawdaunt used Endeavor, taking Scruffy down to 48 HP. Espeon came out next, which Scruffy chunked with a Heat Wave and took out the Crawdaunt in the process. Zack cleaned up with a Sludge Bomb. The final two Pokemon were a Flashfire Sandslash and Luxray. I had been one-shotting Luxray with Mud Shot for most of the run and knew it had low special defense, but Scruffy was so low on HP I was considering using a heal, which would have lowered my chances of beating the Elite Four. I knew the Sandslash had good defense and would survive an Aqua Tail. I obviously couldn't use a Heat Wave because it had Flash Fire. I considered my options and locked in my moves. My heart is pounding. Well, that's a mon. Holy do not have Aftermath now. You better have Flash Fire, you little Okay. John, I'm not sure, dude. I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure. I hesitantly did more trainers after the scary battle with the previous PC trainer and managed to get Scruffy to 97. Alright then, chat. It's time for the big gamba. Do we beat Plat Doubles? If we win, I'll be so happy. I've been knocking out the seeds all year. I love this game so much, chat. I said it on my birthday, but this game means the world to me. It's my favorite game. Not just favorite Pokemon game, it's my favorite game. And it's a honor to be here with a 300 special attack Arcanine with Heat Wave and Flamethrower. It's a miracle it even got here. I don't know how this survived, but it did. Aaron was first. My healing situation wasn't great, so I needed to get as much damage dealt as possible as fast as I could. Aaron opened with a Miltank and a Weezing. Scruffy fired off his first Elite 4 Heat Wave and landed into both targets, one-shotting the cow and doing 99% to the Weezing. Zach, the cleanup crew, picked up the KO with Sludge Bomb. Next was a Venomoth and a Togekiss. Scruffy melted the bug with a single Flamethrower, and Zach deleted the Togekiss with a single Stone Edge. Aaron, apparently a Weezing fan, sent out another one along with an extremely tanky Magmortar. Scruffy had previously almost one-shot Weezing with a Heat Wave when into a double target, so I knew Flamethrower would pick it up here. I had the Magmortar marked for low defense, so I used a Stone Edge thinking it would pick up over using a Mud Shot. The really high HP allowed it to live in the red section of the HP bar. Magmortar used Curse, lowering its speed to raise its attack and defense by one stage. As Aaron used a full restore, Scruffy landed an Aqua Tail and Zach used a Stone Edge. A Flamethrower from Scruffy picked up the KO, damageless out of the first member. Bertha up next. She opened with a Regice and Skarmory, a perfect Heat Wave target. Skarmory lived in the red and Regice was taken down in one hit, Zach cleaning up with a Stone Edge. Out next was Cherim and Raichu. Scruffy used Heat Wave and crit the Raichu, also one-shotting the Cherim. Bertha's final two were her own Magmortar and a Chatot. We knew about the Magmortar as we just dealt with one on Aaron. Scruffy used Flamethrower on the Chatot, leaving it in the mid-range of the red section on the HP bar. Zach fired off a Stone Edge in the hope of a crit on the Magmortar, taking it to around 10% remaining of its total HP. It then recovered 25% with its Citrus Berry, taking it out of a heal range. The Chatot had a Flamethrower of its own, chipping Scruffy down a wee bit. Scruffy bit back with another Flamethrower and took it out. Zach cleaned up the Magmortar with one final crit Stone Edge. Minimal damage taken out of the second member. Up next was Flint. He opened with a Sceptile and Manectric. The Manectric used extreme speed into Scruffy as he fired off a Heat Wave, taking the Sceptile to 1% remaining and picking up the KO on Manectric. Zach cleaned up the Sceptile with a Mud Shot. Out came a Drizzle Ninetales and a tanky Nidoqueen. I took the rain advantage with Aqua Tail and hit the Nidoqueen for about 60% and it restored 25% with the Citrus Berry. I knew Ninetales went down to a single Mud Shot. Nidoqueen's Crab Hammer thankfully missed, or it would have hurt a lot, especially being a high crit ratio move. Flint had his own Shuckle. We knew it wouldn't be too much of a problem for us, so I focused my attention on the Nidoqueen. Scruffy landed another Aqua Tail, which crit this time and took it out. Zach's critical hit Mud Shot chipped the opposing Shuckle down to about 45% of its total HP as it used Roleplay. I had the Banette marked for low special defense, and even though it was raining, Scruffy used Heat Wave, almost one-shotting it and taking Shuckle to very low HP. Zach picked up the KO on Banette with Mud Shot. The opposing Shuckle used Reflect, confirming to us that it wasn't a threat. Zach then finished off the Shuckle with a Bullet Punch. The final Elite Four member was next. My heart was pounding out of my chest, but I felt in control. I was so proud to even be this far. Lucian opened with an Infernape and a Shedinja. Scruffy's Heat Wave chunked down the monkey for just over 25% of its HP and cleared the Shedinja off the field. Zach's Mud Shot took the Infernape down to 10% remaining of its total HP. The Infernape showed a sweet scent. I'm not entirely sure why, but it gave me a false sense of hope with how dangerous it was. Lucian sent out his own Nidoqueen. Thankfully it wasn't raining, but that didn't mean Crab Hammer wouldn't hurt. I doubled into it with Flamethrower and Mud Shot, almost removing it from the field. Nidoqueen revealed Stone Edge, which did a decent amount to Scruffy, also telling me Crabhammer in the rain would have hurt a lot, and we got extremely lucky on the previous one. I used a Moo Moo Milk on Scruff as Zack picked up the KO on Nidoqueen with Mud Shot. Here's where the Infernape switched on us. It used Seismic Toss on Scruffy, removing pretty much all the value from the Moo Moo Milk. Without it, Scruffy would have fainted. Scruffy fired off a Flamethrower at the newly sent in Aggron, taking it to around 10% remaining of its HP. Zack picked up the KO with Mud Shot. I was fully expecting the Infernape to use Seismic Toss again, but it revealed Bone Club, which actually did less than a Seismic Toss would have. I was forced to use that Max Potion on Scruffy to stop the onslaught coming his way from the enemies. His Heat Wave missed at such a crucial time on the Cherrim and chunked the Infernape. Cherrim decided it wanted a piece of Scruffy too, using Bone Rush, but thankfully it only scored a 2-pack. Infernape used another Seismic Toss, removing a further 80 HP from Scruffy. I used the Lemonade on Scruffy and Heat Wave landed on both targets. Infernape's Seismic Toss removing the healing from the Lemonade. This was it, my last HP heal, a Citrus Berry, going on to Scruffy, and I was starting to lose hope for the win. Lucian used a full restore on the monkey and Scruff hit another huge Heat Wave on both targets. It didn't pick up the Swallow and it used Weather Ball, thankfully with no weather modifier, but still annoying. Why was the AI so adamant on targeting Scruffy and leaving Zack alone? One last Heat Wave landed on both targets, removing the Swallow and chunking the Infernape so Zack could pick it up with Mud Shot. The battle was won, but at the cost of all my healing. Only the champion stood in my way. Well, to make it here is fantastic. To make it even here, chat, I thought this was going to finish before Wake, so let's just have some fun in here. Well done for making it this far. As the Pokemon League champion, I accept your challenge. Goes so hard though.
I'm about to bust.
Who is it? I'm not gonna lie, I cannot leave that Jirachi there. And I cannot leave the Clefable there either. I can't. With anything that I've seen of these two Pokemon throughout the whole run, I cannot sit here and set up on these two. So you know what? We're gonna do what we've always done. We're gonna Heat Wave. Okay, it lives. Oh. 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 Oh my god. Oh my god! There's no way you send these two out next. Huh? Huh? What? What? No way, dude. There's no way. No, we're gonna Stone Edge just in case. Just in case. Oh. No, the Rotom should be fine with the Stone Edge. Yep. 2 left. Who is it? Oh no, it's just 1 left. Oh. Do I go for a Heat Wave because it's more damage? Yeah, probably, right? I mean, it's... Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Go. Go. Just... No way. There's no way. There's actually no way, chat.
A higher UPS of the Kaizo IronMON
There's actually no way.
And have a scruffy when Kaizo. Please don't answer your door, the police are coming.
There's actually no way, chat. Holy f***. Holy sh**, dude. That's insane. John Dad, thank you so much for the luck, man. You really blessed this seed. Like, guaranteed. I'm so proud of you and all your Kaizo wins. I really enjoy being in your chat. And you blessed this seed. You blessed this seed and I'm so happy. Who needs a PB when you win? True, Hellion Hound. True. Doubles is done. That's insane. I only found 1 full restore and 1 max potion for the whole run. Everything else has been moo moo milks and lemonades. Like we had so many close calls. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You just need stab heat wave. I won with an Arcanine as well. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, that feels good. Only 21 hours, but yeah, it's alright. No one cares about that. Very pog. I'm about to crack a beer, chat. While I listen to my favorite song. Cheers, chat. Let's go. This is the best song in the game. Thank you so much for the hype train, guys. Holy sh**.
Way to go, Lotad! Good job!
3,422 seeds. I won singles on 5,141.